Good afternoon once again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to round 4 of this PRL season. Of course, the Russian Grand Prix, and that banker, as Jeff says, puts us in P2. We're well off the time we could have set, our PB, which is a 35.6, and we're up on the delta, but we've lost our left front on the next lap. So only that banker counted, and it was good enough for P3. Definitely not what we were after. Probably looking for P2, where Mystic is at the moment. Anyhow, the lights are all on and out they go. Big puff of smoke from the McLaren in front, a great time for pole for Schwartz. Messages flying around everywhere as Mystic, Joker and Schwartz both ahead of me. Can't do anything down into turn 1. I'm actually caught out by how early they braked, and I outbraked myself. I tried to avoid to the inside, but made contact with the McLaren, and also let Mystic through because I kind of didn't really get through that corner under my own steering. So through they both went, and later in the lap had a go at Mystic Joker in the second DRS zone. He goes very deep under brakes, that allows for a cut back onto the right, and I try to go around the outside but slightly lose the rear end, and I can't get the move done at all. Dubsy crashes out my fellow Australian in his debut in this series, and at the same time we have a run on the Ferrari, and ooh, there was actually some contact there with Mystic, but he let us back through. Soon he was attacking us though the next lap, and well, it didn't quite work out for him, a little bit deep under brakes. The problem was though, as we were fighting, the leader was rapidly escaping and we were not within DRS of him. However, a big fight would ensue. He went for the inside there, and I managed to claw around the outside, but the DRS was too strong in this front straight. Went a little bit side by side. I didn't want to fight that, and I'll allow him to go through, slightly rolling out of the throttle as I've cut that corner. There he goes. If you were paying more attention to this than I was, you'll have noticed that I exceeded the delta time there and got myself a drive-through penalty. I was flicking through the tyre menus. Obviously it's not an excuse, but that is what happened. I notice here that I'm not the only one. Right Out Kid, Mystic Joker and my teammate all falling foul of the delta, I believe. That's how I read it at least. So that would completely destroy the races of several people, including the disqualification of my teammate here. So Toro Rosso having a horrible few laps there under the safety car period. I managed to take Gordau's position there at turn 1 as we get the green flag to go after that safety car period. And indeed, Nick Dahi goes a little bit wide in the middle sector, still on super softs that may be going off at this point, and around the outside I go. He still has sort of neck and neck with me at the moment, but I believe the braking performance and indeed the straight line speed at the moment was in my favour. What wasn't in my favour though was the fact that I needed to serve a drive-through penalty, and I would serve that at the end of lap 10. In we go now. I would emerge well outside the points in P14 with I'm not entirely sure where Mystic Joker was at this point, but he was behind, I think. We have some quite epic battles, I would say. There's a four-cylinder on my outside and a Red Bull in front, and it possibly doesn't turn out the way you'd expect. The four-cylinder making a fantastic move around the outside, the Red Bull having nowhere to go, the four-cylinder out-braking themselves, and we managed to slip through up into P11, still outside the points. And our next target is Blood in his Sauber. Here he is, and he actually makes a little mistake as he goes off my screen and retires from the race, so that's unfortunate for him. Almost contact there between a lady and Gordau. Big lock up from Gordau. Will that allow me down the inside? Not quite. Good traction from the Red Bull. and this is all slowing me up quite a lot. Will there be a way through? And yes, I managed to slip down the inside of both of them at the same time, mainly because of Gordau forcing the red ball out wide. And now I come up to his teammate, X-Man, the real OG, and he's braking very early for a lot of these corners, which, well, you'll see he catches me off guard a couple of times. And here you see, oh, very close. Unfortunately for me, that doesn't last, and I actually clip him. He actually slightly cut that corner, so he definitely braked a little bit too early. Anyhow, I'm not going to say that was brake testing. This, however, was a great move from the Ferrari driver of Aaron Webb, who just pitted, and around the outside he goes with the superior traction. I almost ran to the back of the Mercedes again, and finally I would get through, although it would take a couple of corners as he still had the inside running at the moment. And oh cool, that was very close to another collision between the two of us. Would he get any traction? I can't believe how close I've come to this Mercedes a couple of times. Finally we're down the inside. I get a warning for a collision, possibly a bit of lag involved, I'm not entirely sure. Fantastic move from Mystic Joker there. I could get a word in, mainly down to the lack of turning I had. Massive understeer with the damage I had to the front wing, particularly in left-hand corners. So that allows the two Ferraris through now, and I really had to make a gamble in order to finish in front of these championship rivals. So I decided to pit and fix my front wing. This turned out to be a mistake that would cost me probably P6. Although there's no way of telling if my tyres have gone off or the understeer would have cost me a couple of positions later in the race. I had to make several overtakes coming out of the pits outside the points, and on the final lap I would come up against Indian Man in his Force India, whose defending was very robust but fair, although that was a slight corner cut. I managed to get down my nose down the inside here, but the curb which I've been forced onto is very slippery, and that's some very forceful defence. Again, fair, so very impressive driving from this Force India driver. We managed to get some good traction here, but slight contact forces me wide, and that's the opportunity to take P7 gone completely. And 8th place and 4 points is definitely not what we were after here. Perhaps P2 or P3 would have been possible if I'd have been paying attention to my delta and not got that drive-through penalty. Anyhow, that's what we've ended up with. See you guys next time in Spain.